Pikachu wanted to say hi. All right, listen, we are ready to start round 2 of our Premier Challenge here today. We are playing with Jesus. Actually, it's Jesus, but still, it's really cool. We have and we are also playing with Isai, Diego, and with this is going to be a really fun match. I have looked at these teams. I've seen some things they're going to be bringing in on their teams, and this is going to be fun. This is going to be a very, very, very fun match. Some things we have never really seen in this format, but we're going to see for the first time today. Let's get into it. All right, on Isai's side, or East side, is a nickname that he told me that he likes. We got Tapu Koko, Incineroar, Ho-Oh, Duskmane, Necrozma, Sylveon, and Meowstic. Now, those last two had a pretty good run in 2016. We're going to see if they can do it again this year in 2019. While Jesus' side has a really cool Pokemon that I'm super excited to see. We've got Zygarde, Copagrigus, also Duskmane, Necrozma, Scolipede, or Soliopede, I don't know how to pronounce it, I just love it, and Incineroar and Suicune. Now, Soliopede or Scolipede, again, this pronunciation thing on that one, it bugs me. It's a bug type. But that one wasn't actually intended, but still. This is going to be a very fun match because Scolipede, it has Speed Boost. That's one of its abilities. It's my personal favorite ability. I'm excited to see if it actually has it because, although most Scolipedes run that, if not all. So we're going to see. We're going to be in for a treat here. This is going to be very fun. Let's get into it. So you're going to see east side on the, or east side, excuse me, on the left side, closer to us. Jesus is going to be in the back there. Let's rock. We're going to see the lead of Meowstic Sylveon. Again, very common lead for 2016, but 2019 haven't seen much use there. Jesus is going to go with Scolipede. There it is. I'm super excited to see it. And Suicune. Already we're in for something that you really wouldn't expect in a VGC format this year with all the Kyogres and Xerneas and Groudon running around. These guys aren't, we aren't seeing any Xerneas, no Kyogres, no Groudons this format, or in this set. It's going to be a very fun match because it's so different. I don't know too much about these strategies, except I do know back in 2016, Meowstic carried Fake Out, Gravity, and possibly Trick Room. That was a very popular strategy. Sylveon usually had Substitute for East side here. East sides, I don't know how to say that. And we're going to see Snarl come out from Suicune. That will lower the special attack from, if it hits Sylveon, would lower Sylveon's special. And Meowstic does get that special attack drop, though Meowstic usually isn't, and Snarl, because Snarl actually goes through that substitute there. It is a sound-based move. That means it does not hit that sub, and Meowstic's going to take damage for that as well. Did not see too much about what that Suicune did, so I apologize for that. I'm sorry, about what the Scolipede did. I'm excited to see it. I should pay more attention to it. Sylveon going to switch out, wants to avoid that Snarl, and we're going to see Isai go into Duskmane, Necrozma. This is definitely a Xerneas counter, and not only that, it works very well under Trick Room. And it has a monstrous attack stat. And speaking of attack stat, we're going to see Scolipede raise its attack thanks to Swords Dance. It's going to go for, and we saw a Psychic onto it, but it's super effective, except it's carrying that Focus Sash. It's surviving for another turn. Suicune also setting up this turn with the Calm Mind, raising its special defense and special attack. So, Jesus has currently got the fastest Pokemon with that Scolipede. And with that in mind, it has a poison attack, or I'm sorry, it's poison type, and it's got bug type as well. Poison type in this case, it will help against that Sylveon later, but as of now, Meowstic is substituted, Necrozma resists that, is immune to that, so that might not play out as well. So we gotta really see what is that Scolipede carrying, because I actually have no clue in my mind what it's gonna do. All right, on the Meowstic, we're gonna see Yawn. So Suicune is gonna fall asleep on this next turn. Baton Pass coming out from Jesus. That means the attack and speed boost that Scolipede got is now gonna be passed on to another Pokemon. What is that Pokemon gonna be? Let's take a look. It is going to be Incineroar. Very good play there. Incineroar being one of the most common Pokemon in the format. not only is it lowering that Necrozma's attack stats, it's immune to Necrozma's Photon Geyser or whatever psychic move it has. Most likely Photon Geyser. Oh my goodness. Isai just getting terrible luck with that Incineroar. From that Incineroar's Intimidate and Suicune's Scald Burn. That will lower his Necrozma attack stat in half, and then add one more from that Intimidate. The Necrozma unfortunately just got that terrible luck with that attack. And at Suicune, it did a really good amount of damage. 70 or so, just a little under 70 damage onto such a bulky Pokemon is really, really good. Suicune pulling in its weight here. Necrozma, that's just bad luck. That's another thing that, that's part of the nature of the game. No matter what happens in the game, it could come crashing down because of luck. Burns, paralysis, sleep, not waking up. Meowstic gonna go for Yawn, but because and that also, we see that it does not affect the Incineroar. That's because Meowstic has Prankster. That puts priority on moves such as Yawn, Substitute, all that type of stuff. They're status moves. So because of that, we now know that Meowstic has Prankster. And Meowstic's Prankster is going to be... that is a really good Pokemon, or move to carry on Meowstic, but in this case, it's not very good on that Incineroar. Jesus did not switch out to Suicune, meaning that it will fall asleep for the turn. And Ho-Oh now coming in. We're going to see the first restricted legendary, or sorry, second restricted legendary from Isai team. I forgot that Duskmane was one of those. But now Ho-Oh can do multiple things. It's one of these Pokemon that is so versatile that it can do anything pretty much. It could go for Tailwind, or it could go, we saw pretty recently, it can go for Whirlwind and remove Xerneas. It can also go for attacking moves, Sacred Fire, Brave Bird. We're going to see Power Trip. That is such an interesting strategy. Power Trip relies on these boosted stats of your Pokemon. It gains a boost in itself for every move. For every boost it gets, it also gets a boost in power. But the red card will remove those boosts that Incineroar carries. Psychic going on to Suicune, not doing too much. Suicune is asleep for another turn. Don't forget, Suicune raised its Calm Mind there. Raised its special defense and its special attack with Calm Mind. Here's the Brave Bird. It's going to go onto that Zygarde slot, and it will do a good amount of damage. But Ho-Oh, after the Power Trip, is not able to take the Brave Bird recoil. And Zygarde, it will remain on the field, but at half health. But now Isai... oh, here we go. This is something that I have been dying to see as well. Complete form Zygarde. Finally on stream. And it has quite literally the most epic transformation in Pokemon. That is awesome. Now Isai is... and don't forget, now because of that power constrictability and complete form Zygarde, Jesus' Zygarde has recovered some of the health that it lost. Now bringing in Sylveon. Sylveon is in a good place to take or hit Zygarde. It is a fairy type, so Zygarde is weak to it. Zygarde, I don't actually know that much of Zygarde's attacks, but it will protect this turn. So no, we're going to see Meowstic go for Yawn, trying to put that Zygarde to sleep. And Suicune staying asleep for another turn there. So there's that. And then Moonblast going onto the Zygarde slot, trying to knock the Zygarde out. Suicune showing its leftovers. Every turn, it's been recovering since it's been asleep, or since it's got hit. So even though it's not doing anything while asleep, it is taking its health back slowly. Definitely, I don't know if you would see these 4 Pokemon on the field in any normal match, but this is one heck of a match. We're going to see Jesus switch back into the Incineroar there. Gonna Intimidate, but that doesn't really help. We've seen that both of these Pokemon on Isai's side are special attackers. Suicune's gonna wake up, goes for that Snarl. Nothing Isai can prevent, or do to prevent Suicune from lowering that special attack of both of these Pokemon. So, you know, in this case, Jesus played, definitely the strategy here was to lower those stats of attack and special attack. And that special attack doing just around, it looks like it's doing, oh, okay, so over half damage on the Incineroar. Now, we're seeing Moonblast on Sylveon, and the most common move for Sylveon back in 2016 was Hyper Voice. Because Sylveon's Pixelate ability makes all normal type attacks into excuse me, it turns all normal type attacks into fairy type attacks. So, and it also gives them a bit of a boost. So that's why Hyper Voice is such a common move on that, but we haven't seen that yet. Psychic going on to Suicune once again, doing a bit more. This time is a critical hit that ignores the special attack. I'm sorry, special defense boosts from Suicune. And once again, another Snarl, gonna nerf Sylveon's special. Meowstic will go down. Isai's now down to 1 Pokemon left. But Incineroar, I'm sorry, the Sylveon is going to get flinched this turn thanks to Jesus' Incineroar. There's not very much that Sylveon can do. It's 1 versus 4. And with that in mind, Isai is gonna go. We're gonna see a Scout off of Jesus' side, and that's not gonna be enough to take it out. But there's an Incineroar with Flare Blitz looming as well. We're gonna see Moonblast, not quite a knockout on the Incineroar, and it will lower special attack. But we know Incineroar is a physical attacker. That's not gonna matter very much. And Incineroar is gonna go for that Flare Blitz. So with that, Jesus Quintero is gonna take match 1 of round 2, and he did so with a Scolipede. I absolutely care. I love that. That is something. And counter with the size team, Sylveon, Meowstic, I love that as well. I mean, this is very hard. Because I don't want to see anyone lose. These guys are both so cool strategies, and both teams are playing them very, very well. So it's hard to see someone lose this one. Let's get into the next round, and this is where the adjustments will matter. I've been saying all format long that this has been the most important stage of battle, picking the right leads. A wrong lead could completely ruin your game from the very beginning. So that is why getting these leads in, and there's not really much to base it on besides the last match you did. And yeah, a lead might work on this last match, but it won't work for this next one. Or it possibly, it could work. Who knows? There's not much to base it on, so you can't tell. That's why these are some of the most crucial yet the hardest decisions to make in a Pokemon match. Isai is ready to go with his team, and Jesus is ready to go as well. Let's get into match number 2. Isai versus Jesus in this very unusual match, which is absolutely amazing. So we definitely have one thing that I've also been looking at with the Scolipede is it is definitely a pure Xerneas counter, and bringing it in last time was a bit of a risk because we didn't see Xerneas. We don't have Xerneas on Isai's team. Jesus is going to lead with the same lead. Isai now going to go for Meowstic and Incineroar instead of Sylveon in the Incineroar slot. But what I was saying with Jesus is that Scolipede, it takes out, or Scolipede, I don't know how to pronounce it, I just like it. It has a good counter for Xerneas, but it doesn't really have a good attack to handle Xerneas, or things other than, it doesn't have a good attack to handle teams that don't carry Xerneas. That is why the baton pass was so crucial last match, I believe. That Incineroar, or at least helped. It really wasn't a deciding factor, but it still helped a lot and got that Ho-Oh down. Let's see what happens here. We know we're going to see the Scolipede switch out into Zygarde. We know that Incineroar could carry Fake Out. That can prevent one of the opposing Pokemon from going. And that Fake Out will prevent Suicune from moving. Psychic coming out from Isai's team this time, going on to Jesus' Zygarde. Not quite 50%. And Power Construct, I believe, activates only at 50%. Yeah, so with that Zygarde's not going to complete form quite yet. That is a really perfect, that is the ultimate point where if you're facing a Zygarde, that is the health you want to get it at because it's not in its complete form yet. And if you have a stronger move than what you just used, you can remove of it before it gets into its complete form. So that was a miracle right there. That was beauty. That was art. So now the Suicune will be able to use this turn, but in the Yawn coming out onto the Zygarde slot, Suicune get a Snarl. That will prevent Meowstic special attack from reaching any higher attacks. We saw that it did a great amount of damage on the Zygarde, so it'll prevent that from happening again. And we saw another attack from Incineroar onto Zygarde. Suicune is just staying in this thing. It's relaxing, eating its leftovers. It seems kind of comedic when you think about it. Is that this giant dog is just in the middle of the match. It's like, hold up, I need to take a bite. Okay, we continue now. So that's how I've always pictured the leftovers. A lot of the items are very, very funny. Like, and we're gonna see Yawn this time come out from Meowstic. This time it will hit that Zygarde, so 1,000 arrows coming out from Zygarde. That is a ground type move that hits both Meowstic and Incineroar, but it's not quite a knockout on both. But the good thing with 1,000 arrows, it hits both Pokemon, and the Scald onto Incineroar will finish it off for Isai's team. 1,000 arrows is a very, very strong move because it is able to hit both Pokemon. That is such a key point in this game, because you see so many moves that hit both Pokemon now. You see with Kyogre, you have Water Spout and Origin Pulse. Groudons carry Precipice Blades. Xerneas and Tapu Koko carry Dazzling Gleam, and now Zygarde with its 1,000 arrows. That is something that has been adopted this format more than any other. Moves that hit both Pokemon. And 1,000 arrows, if I'm not mistaken, also can hit flying types. It is a neutral attack on flying types on the first turn, and then it pretty much removes the flying type from it, and then we'll calculate only on the other type. So Ho-Oh, that 1,000 arrows could hit that Ho-Oh. Now we're, in this case, Suicune, again, full health, munching on that leftovers. Meowstic at half health, and Ho-Oh just came in onto the field. And that was, I believe, extreme speed off of the Zygarde, not a knockout yet, and Yawn going on to the Suicune. So Zygarde did not switch out, meaning it will stay asleep. Snarl's going to finish off the Meowstic here from Isai's team, but he's got the Ho-Oh, which doesn't, and it used, because of Snarl, a lowered special attack. Ho-Oh actually going to go for the red card against Suicune. That is kind of, we know Suicune had Yawn, so that isn't really, that Yawn is gone. So, and with Meowstic being gone, there's no way that I can hit that. There's no way Suicune could go to sleep this turn. Necrozma is going to take a good, looks like around a fifth of its damage from Brave Bird there, thanks to Ho-Oh. And Zygarde is asleep and can't do anything. We're going to see Isai's last Pokemon now. And we saw that in the last match it was Necrozma, and it's back. So we got two Duskmane's Necrozmas on the field. Isai and Jesus both have brought out their restricted legends for this final part of the battle here. Isai, he's down to 2 Pokemon again, but he has that Zygarde asleep and at half health, and that is he can use that to his advantage. Zygarde, it went first, meaning it most likely went for extreme speed. Not gonna work this time. Jesus gonna go for the Photon Geyser. That will be on the Ho-Oh slot, and it will take that Ho-Oh hit. Ho-Oh gonna go for that Sacred Fire. We also know that's faster than Necrozma. Necrozma usually carries a very slow speed, so either that Necrozma from Jesus' side is speed invested, or Isai's Ho-Oh is more bulk invested and isn't a faster attacker. And we're gonna now see Isai's Duskmane's Necrozma go for Sunsteel Strike onto that Zygarde, and it will knock it out. That Zygarde is gone, and just like that, we went from 4-2 to 2-2. Isai still has his restricted legends on the field as well. Jesus does not. His restricted legends are gone for good in this match. Suicune still at full health though, and we're gonna see that, I believe it was in Scolipede. That's right. The one I'm super excited to see. Scolipede's gonna come back out on the field. Not a good. That isn't good when there's a Necrozma on the field that has Photon Geyser. Yeah. That Suicune has been munching on its leftovers, still at full health. So Jesus does have the advantage when it comes to health, but Isai has the advantage when it comes to power, it seems. Suicune and Scolipede aren't known for their massively high attack stats, unlike Necrozma and Ho-Oh. We're going to see Poison Jab from Jesus onto the Ho-Oh. Not quite a knockout. Ho-Oh will hang on with 3 HP, but it is gone. Ho-Oh, definitely, they don't want the Ho-Oh in. It'll be removed from Suicune, thanks to Suicune's Scald. Necrozma going to go for Photon Geyser. Which attack is that going to go on? Which Pokemon is going to go onto the Scolipede? That has Photon. I'm sorry, that Photon Geyser knocks it down to the Focus Sash. Suicune, again, still at full health. What is this? How is this going to end up? We know the Scolipede is going to be fastest on the field thanks to its speed boost. Suicune, we don't know too much about its attack stat there. Or special attack stat rather. And that might, again, we know it has Scald though. And last match we saw that unfortunate burn onto Isai's Necrozma, and that really cripples Necrozma. We're going to see Protect from Scolipede on this turn. So it's going to survive and get another speed boost. We're going to see Calm Mind from... Calm Mind is now going into the Suicune slot, or excuse me, the Suicune's using Calm Mind for itself. It wouldn't attack itself. But Photon Geyser, it goes onto the Suicune this time. Suicune will take a good amount of damage, around a quarter, but still with the leftovers, that's not good. That's just not a lot of damage right there. When you think about the leftovers, and if Suicune does carry Protect, we're gonna be here a long time. So we do know that Scolipede cannot attack this turn, so... I'm sorry, cannot protect this turn, it can attack this turn though, so it might threaten Necrozma with the move it's got. Oh, really? But it's going to end up going for Swords Dance. So definitely, like I said, it was intimidated. I'm sorry, it wasn't intimidated, it was earlier in the match. Scald coming back onto Necrozma, doing a good amount with 50 or so damage, and no burn. So Sunsteel Strike is coming out, which has an awesome animation. But who is it targeting? Is it targeting the Suicune or is it targeting the Scolipede? It's targeting the Suicune, and it does just not that much still. You know, with Necrozma, or Duskmane specifically, Protect, Photon Geyser, Sunsteel Strike, Trick Room. That's the common set. We've seen those two common moves, and we've seen, I don't know if we've seen Protect. We might have, but with that in mind, Necrozma doesn't really have much to hit Suicune there. We're going to see Protect from Scolipede. Wants to get that speed as fast as possible, and a Scald possible burn here. That cripples Necrozma. That's down to 66 HP, and there's the burn. That's it. That is the key play. Another Photon Geyser from Isai's team. Going on to Suicune. Nope, that won't do a lot of damage there. Suicune can recover a lot of that damage back from the leftovers, and Necrozma now has a timer. Duskmane Necrozma has a timer with that burn, and its attack speed is halved. Really bad, unfortunate ending again. You know, I think Necrozma, Duskmane Necrozma likes the burn right now. It's just twice in a row in these matches it's been burned. Another Swords Dance coming out from Scolipede. Scald coming out from Suicune. This has done a lot of damage in the past, and it will knock out Isai Necrozma. Jesus Quintero gonna take a win with the Scolipede there. That was a really, really fun match to watch. Scolipede, Meowstic, Sylveon. We don't see those often, and boy, was it an entertaining match to finish. I don't know if you can hear, but a lot of people are talking right now. Definitely could be because of that match. That was an intense end there. The burn, unfortunately, really messed up their Isai's Necrozma. Hi. But the Necrozma getting that burn, that was the unfortunate play there, because with that, it might have had a shot to continuously take hits from Suicune and knock it out with Photon Geyser. But that burn, from that moment on, we knew it was the end. And Scald doing a lot of damage just added to boot. Either way, it was a very entertaining match, and we'll be back with round 3 very soon. Stick around.